Hey, start taking your seats. We're going to get started soon, so take your seats.
So real quick backstory.
What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to your first funnel challenge. I am so excited and nervous and anxious and all of the feelings today. We've got an amazing, an in-house studio audience here, which is cool. We also have, yeah, that's not a clap jack. They're actually real people here, which is kind of cool. We've also got 10,000 plus VIPs that are in Zoom right now who are here hanging out with us. And we've got a whole bunch of you guys watching in Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn and all over the internet. So it's going to be a really, really fun day today. I'm so excited to be hanging out with you guys. Just kind of give you a real quick overview of what's going to be happening. I'm going to be talking now for probably an hour or so. I've got 3 amazing guest speakers who afterwards are going to be coming up and sharing their stories as it relates to their first funnel and what they did and how they launched it and the successes they've had, just to kind of show you guys behind the scenes of what's happening in people's lives from all the stuff you're going to be learning about today, which is really, really exciting. And then after that, we're going to have a special VIP session with all the VIPs in Zoom. We do Q&A with me and the other speakers, which will be a lot of fun. And anyway, a whole bunch of other cool things. So today's going to be a super fun day. If you guys are excited for it, let me know in the comments. I can see all the VIP comments right here in front of me. So let me know in the VIP comments. But if you're on Facebook, I want to know if you're excited. If you're on LinkedIn, YouTube, wherever you guys are at, let us know how you're feeling today. If you're excited, if you're ready for the Your First Funnel Challenge. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. It's been fun because, as you guys know, on Friday, I went live to the group and I asked everybody to go and to actually tell a story, to go live on Facebook and tell their story about why they joined the Your First Funnel Challenge. And I spent all day Saturday, all day Sunday just scrolling and watching video after video after video and listening to the messages. And man, it was really cool to see. Everyone who's coming here is coming for different reasons, different purposes, different whys, usually different visions of what you're trying to create. Some of you guys don't know yet what we're going to create. And that's why you're here, like trying to figure out, like, what's actually happening? What are we doing? Like, what is a funnel? I don't even know yet. And so I watched all those videos. And so I literally, up to like 5 minutes ago, was changing my slides and my presentation because I want to make sure I'm speaking directly to you guys in a way that's going to serve you the most. And so that's the game plan for today. And just know there's been so much time and effort and prep work gone in to try to make this amazing experience for you guys. And so we can go live every day just like this for the next 5 days, which will be awesome. And on Saturday, we have a huge celebration event where I got some of my favorite people are coming here to speak to you guys on stage all day Saturday. We're going live with some of the best personal development and business and marketing and ads and just a full, literally like a full day events can be happening all day Saturday. So make sure you block out that time because the speakers that you're going to be hearing from are people, some of these speakers charge $150,000, $200,000 or more to come and do a keynote presentation. And they're going to be here all day on Saturday giving presentations to you guys. Most of them all just because they love you guys. They wanted to come and serve. And so I'm grateful for them as well. Okay. Are you guys ready to get down, have some fun? If you guys are ready, let me know. Okay. So Your First Funnel Challenge, I want to kind of give you guys kind of the backstory behind this. Some of you guys know that right now we're in the process of launching ClickFunnels 2.0, which is our brand new platform. People have been using ClickFunnels for the last 8 years. And about 2 years ago, we decided we wanted to build a new platform from the ground up. We wanted to do it in a way that nobody had done before to make this really, truly enterprise software that could take anybody from a beginner, help them to grow their business, but also as you're growing to 6, 7, 8 figures, 9 figures and beyond, that you can still use the platform to be able to do it. And so we spent 2 years building it. And this week, actually, during everyone registering for the challenge, you guys were the first people to have a chance to actually get ClickFunnels 2.0 accounts. In fact, a lot of you guys have them. We're going to be showing you guys behind the scenes how it works today. But as we knew that the launch for the new platform was coming up, we thought how fun it would be to like, not just like give everyone like, here's some software, but to do a really cool, fun challenge where we can show you guys behind the scenes how it works and how it can actually work in your business to help you guys to really cast the vision and see it. And so as we were talking and thinking about this challenge over the last, 3 or 4 months, we're trying to think, what's the right thing to talk about? And what can we share? What's going to be the most impactful so we're not wasting people's time so they get the most benefit from what we're talking about? And we were talking about like, what's the value and benefit of a funnel versus how people kind of run more traditional businesses, right? And really the value of a funnel is the fact that you don't have to go and take on outside capital to grow your business. You don't have to go and get money from a banker, right? You don't have to go and borrow money from your cousin or your uncles and, have that awkward conversation during Thanksgiving time when they want their money back or all those things you don't have to do. You can start a funnel and do it yourself. And we started asking what are other ways that people traditionally try to start businesses? And the thing that popped in our head was Shark Tank. Now, my first question, how many of you guys watch Shark Tank or watched a lot of Shark Tank or all of them? And if you're not in America, maybe if you're in Canada or UK or somewhere else, it's Dragon Den, right? But it's an amazing show with people who are bringing on their product ideas, say, this is our business, and they want people to invest in them, right? And what's interesting, a lot of people don't know this, but this man right here, if you guys can see my slides, Damon John, who's one of the sharks here, Damon is actually a big ClickFunnels user. If you've ever been to his sites, Damon uses ClickFunnels to launch his own courses, sells his books, things like that. But at the same time, when people come, and a lot of times if Damon does a deal with somebody, he actually does a deal with them. And then behind the scenes, he has a team that builds funnels and ClickFunnels. And so he does the deal and they takes it and then plugs it into ClickFunnels, and they help launch the brands on ClickFunnels. And so I knew that he's been using ClickFunnels for years. And so I messaged him ahead of the challenge. I said, would you be willing to come? And I'm like, we're going to kind of tease you and investors a little bit, but would you be willing to come and do this thing to help us launch the new platform? And it was funny because at first he's like, wait, so you want to let people know that this is what we do, that we build things in funnels? I'm like, yeah, he was kind of hesitant at first. And he's like, okay, that'd actually be a lot of fun. And so what's cool is you guys on Friday, you actually have a chance to stream in and listen to a really cool presentation from Damon about how they're using funnels to bootstrap their companies. Damon bootstrapped FUBU from the ground up to $6 billion in sales. And so a lot of this thing, we want to show you guys how you can bootstrap your businesses instead of going and getting money from Damon or from a banker or from your cousins or whatever, but you can bootstrap them with funnels. And that's kind of one of the big visions I want to cast here for you. So with this whole thing with Damon, when we decided to do this, I flew out, we hung out for a couple of days or for a day, and we filmed a whole bunch of ads. How many of you guys saw any of these ads before you got here? Maybe that was the ad that got you to actually register. So there's two of them I want to show you because I thought they were really funny, and I thought it'd be a good way to kind of start this party off before we jump into the actual training. So I'm going to show you guys two of the ads. They're both very, very short, but there's some fun ads that Damon and I did preparing for the Your First Funnel Challenge. So with that said, let's watch video number 1. Hello, Damon, the People Shark. My name's Russell Brunson, and I'm here today seeking no money, really, but I'd love for you to be in a commercial.
Commercial for what?
For the Your First Funnel Challenge. It's a free 5-day challenge teaching people how to launch a business without needing investors like banks or family members or...
Me?
So, Yin? All right, so that was the first one. He's such a good sport. It's so much fun, that one. It was so hard for me to keep a straight face making the videos. I'm not a professional actor. Anyway, so that was the first one. I'm going to show you guys one more that was kind of fun that we built as well, and maybe you saw this ad. So here's the next one right now.
Why don't you let me invest?
No.
5%.
Nope.
6%. That's my final offer.
No.
Oh, you want to play possum on me? How about 8%?
What?
Take one marker.
Sign up for the First Funnel Way Challenge today and learn how to launch your business without any investors. You're supposed to go down in equity, not up.
Whatever. 9%.
Anyway, we had so much fun with Damon. He's such a good sport. And so that's what this challenge is all about, you guys. How to take any business, any product, any service, any idea, and how to launch it into the world with a funnel. And so that's what we're talking about. But before we dive into what's the perfect funnel for you and those kind of things, I'm sure you're thinking and you're wondering. Again, after I went through watching all your videos this weekend to say, why did you guys join this challenge? What was the purpose for you? I saw some themes over and over and over again. So I wanted to kind of write this up here. So the big question I was asking was why? Why did you guys join this, right? And I know that not all of you guys told me the reason why, but it probably had, 1,000, 2,000 of you guys who actually went live in the Facebook group, which is really cool. How many of you guys actually watched the other people and heard their stories? And you're like, oh, that one resonates with me. Oh, yes, that's the reason why I want to do it as well. Okay. What I noticed by going through that, basically there were two kind of camps. People who were, I'm writing this down correctly. People who were in some kind of pain and they're trying to get out of that pain, right? Like people who are like, like I have a job and I hate it, or I'm not happy in my relationship and trying to figure out how to help, right? I'm trying to figure out these other things. There's something that they weren't happy with. And they're trying to figure out, how do I get out of pain, right? And the second side were people who were out of pain. They're trying to figure out, like, how do I get happiness? How do I get more pleasure? Like, I'm trying to figure out how to make more money to be able to go on vacation with my family, to be able to do this and do that, right? So the two sides, like people who are trying to get out of pain and people who are trying to move towards pleasure, right? And so it's interesting because as I was looking at this, everyone kind of fell in that spectrum. I'm curious for you guys, how I can see, and I can see a whole bunch of you guys on the wall back here. How many guys, like, you're taking this challenge because you're in some type of pain right now? It could be a boss, could be something, just you need more money, you have debts that are piling high, like something like that, but you're in pain and you're hoping to figure out this funnel so you can get out of pain. How many guys does that explain to you right now? So raise your hand. Okay, a lot of you guys there, you're out of pain. Some of you guys are like, you're out of pain, but you're like, man, I know there's more in this life. There's more I want to do, and more I want to give, more I want to serve. I'm trying to figure out the next level. I'm trying to figure out how to move towards pleasure. How many guys are in that spot and you're trying to move towards pleasure? Okay, we got, yeah, it's interesting. It's like half and half. We start looking at the hands going up and the people voting over here. Half of you guys are in this spot and half of you guys are in this spot. And so our goal is to kind of take you guys on this journey to help take you out of there, okay? And so what I'm going to be doing in this process is to show you guys the opportunity you have to help you to get out of pain or either move towards pleasure, depending on which side of the spectrum that you're in right now, okay? Now, the first thing I want to paint a picture so you guys understand this, right? In fact, another survey. How many guys have heard me or somebody talk about funnels before? Like, I understand funnels. I heard it. Right? If you have, let me know. Now, if you never heard of a funnel before, like, I have no idea what Russell's talking about, say, I have no idea what a funnel is. It's interesting. 8 years ago when we launched ClickFunnels, I asked people if they knew what a funnel was. And it was like 99% people said no, and like 1% like yes. And now it's the opposite, where now it's like 80% of people now like know what a funnel is. They've heard it. They've tried it before. They haven't had success yet. And 20% like, I have no idea what it is. Okay, but I want you to understand, like, funnels are the big opportunity for all of you guys right now. This is the big secret to be able to get out of pain, to get into pleasure, to be able to have things you're looking for in this life, is understanding and mastering this one skill set of funnels. Okay, so what is a funnel? I'll try to illustrate in an easy way. Imagine this is I'm gonna draw like clouds, but this right here is the internet, right? And there's all sorts of people up here on the internet. And so there's a whole bunch of people over here on Facebook, right? How many people are on Facebook? I don't know. 5 billion, 3 billion, I don't know. There's a whole bunch of people up here on Facebook, right? And then there's Instagram, and there's a bunch of, these are supposed to represent people. They look more like ants, but anyway, you know what I mean? And then there's like YouTube, and there's TikTok, and then there's, I don't even know the other one. There's Google, and there's all these things, right? And so there's literally billions and billions and billions of people that are up here on the internet all day, every single day. Right? And people always ask me, Russell, how do I create traffic? How do I get people to come to my site? And the goal is you don't try to create traffic. Like, traffic's already there. People are already on Facebook. They're already on Instagram. They're already on YouTube, right? And then I'm guessing if you're here, you probably have some kind of product or service, right? So this is you. And this right here is you holding your product or service, right? You have some kind of product or service. And so the question is, how do I get all these millions of people, billions of people from all the internet to come down here and actually buy my product or my service, right? That is the big question. And so the answer is simple. You're never going to guess what it is. Can you guess what it is? The answer is a funnel. Like, that's our job, is to take people from here, bring them down to find out about our products and our services. Okay. That's the big aha. That's the big secret. That's the big thing I want you guys to understand. Okay. Now, I want you to also understand just a couple of pieces of this opportunity, because some of you guys right now, you already have a product or service. How many of you guys who are either in this room or at home or whatever, you already have a product or service? Like, I know exactly what I'm going to sell. Right? It could be anything. It could be your own product. It could be maybe you're in a network marketing program and you have some other product you sell, or you're an affiliate, or you've got a course you're trying to create, or you've got a physical product, some e-commerce thing. You found a cool product in Alibaba and you want to sell that, or you've got an idea for a product. How many of you guys have a product right now? Okay. A lot of you guys have product ideas. And how many of you guys don't yet? You're like, I have no idea. I saw a video with Damon John. I got excited. I showed up. I registered. I'm here for the challenge. I don't have a product yet. He said funnels are the greatest thing in the world. Like, but what exactly is that? How many of you guys are in that situation right now where you don't have anything yet? There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Yeah, I think there's more people who don't have anything yet, which is totally cool. So I want you to understand the big opportunity is twofold. One of them is, like, if you have a product or service, learning how to create this piece right here, right? Learning how to create this funnel It is the secret between getting all the people on the internet to come down here and buy your product. But at the same time, there are tons and tons of businesses who don't have a product or service yet, right? Excuse me, let me say that right. There's tons of businesses who do have a product or service, but they don't have a funnel as well, right? And so one thing that you're going to be learning throughout this challenge is the skill set of funnel building, right? Because maybe you don't have a product or service yet you can apply this to. That's okay. You can still make money with the skill set you're learning. You're learning how to build funnels. So you can go build funnels for other people, for their clients, for other things. And companies will actually pay you to build these funnels. In fact, let me pull up my first slide here to show you guys, because I think everyone thinks that like, oh, like right now the economy's struggling, and it is. There's all sorts of stuff. There's recession, inflation, all the things you hear about on the news all day long. But if you throw my slides up here so everyone can see it, the big opportunity I want to share with you guys is the fact that during times of recessions and all these things that are happening right now is actually when the biggest opportunities are available. Check out this graphic. If you look at how many new businesses have been created year by year, like it is skyrocketing now more than anything. Okay, there's 2019, there's 2020, 2021, 2022. If you can leave on the slide, yeah, there you go. On the slide, leave my video on the slide so we can see that way. So you see how many are growing. So in 2019, there's 3.5 million businesses start. 2020, 4.3. 2021, 5.3. 2022 is 5.6 and beyond. Like you look at the thing is ramping up like crazy. So there's more businesses being created now than ever in the history of time, right? And guess what? Most of these business owners, they're really good at creating a product or a service, right? They're a chiropractor, they're a dentist, they're a doctor, they're starting a restaurant, they're doing these things, and they create the product. And then what happens to most of them? Most businesses, if you look online, if you look offline, if you look around you, most businesses are struggling. Okay, these 5.6 million businesses that are getting started in 2022, right? These people do not know what you understand. They've got a product, they set up shop, and they're like, how do I get, like, where are the people at? Why aren't the people buying from me, right? They get stuck right there. And so your job, like your thing is to understand this opportunity that there are billions of people on the internet that want those products or services. And if you can be the one that provides the funnel, you can get paid tons of money to be able to be that person in the middle. Okay, so I want you to understand this thing you're gonna be learning in the next 5 days is powerful in two different ways. Number one, if you have a product or service, it's the tool, it's the secret that gets people from the internet to buy your product. And if you don't, okay, there's 5.6 million new companies that get started this year alone who are waiting for you to do this, and they will pay you greatly to be able to be the person who builds the funnel. In fact, I'm gonna show you guys a really good example of someone who's actually done both. In fact, let me come back. How many guys, how many are looking at saying like, well, this is cool. I have a product right now, but I don't have any money, or maybe I'm not ready for this yet. Like, but this funnel thing sounds interesting. You can actually get paid to learn the skill set, which I'll kind of show you in a minute, but you're going to learn along the way and you can get paid to do it. So a good example, if I throw my slides back up, this is Stephanie Blake. She's one of my favorite people on the internet. She's so cool. But Stephanie, I think 6 or 7 years ago, was on a similar presentation to what you guys learned about today. She first learned about funnels and she was excited. Like, this is amazing. Like, this could be a big deal, but she didn't have her own business yet. Right? But she said, I'm going to learn this skill set. I'm going to master it. So she started learning all the things you're going to learn about in the next 5 days. She learned how funnels work and how it can like draw traffic and bring people to a business. Then she went and she found a chiropractor that lives locally next to her. And she had never built a funnel yet. She didn't have a ton of success yet. But she's like, I know the principles now. I understand this. And so she built a chiropractor. She built a funnel for a chiropractor, right? So if you come back here, there's a chiropractor. The product they had was their chiropractic practice, right? She went out, built a funnel, connected to the internet, started driving traffic to it. And if you throw a slide back up, you can see here, she was able to build this funnel for a chiropractor. And this funnel brought in 86 new clients for the chiropractor. 86 new clients, okay? Now, what do you think that chiropractor did when Stephanie comes in, builds a funnel, gets 86 new clients? And each client is worth anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 each, right? You can do the math on that. That's a lot of money. She came in and made it rain for this chiropractor. Did the chiropractor know how to get clients in the door like that? No, he was going out and doing, like lunch meetings, all these things that were super slow, passing out business cards, going to the fair, hoping to get people. She came in, plugged in a funnel, and boom, that fast, got 86 new customers in the front door. That chiropractor started freaking out. And he went and told all the other chiropractors he knew. And then those chiropractors started hiring Stephanie, and Stephanie started building funnels for them. And she took that same funnel she built for one chiropractor, built for another one, and another one, and another one. And every single time she got paid again and again and again. She got paid to continue to manage them. She got paid to drive traffic. But she started making a ton of money doing this funnel for chiropractors. Okay. Now, what's even better is that at the same time, she had the skill set. She was getting better at it and getting better as she was doing it for other people. She was getting paid to learn how to build funnels, right? For all these people she was building funnels for. And then at the same time, she had her own ideas. Like, well, I have a product I want to create. I have a service I want to create. So while she was getting paid to build funnels for other people, during her free time, she built a funnel for herself. Now, what's crazy about this, if you look at Stephanie's story, not only did she go and build a funnel and make a bunch of money doing this for other people, then she launched her own product. And this is the picture of her on stage with her husband, her family at Funnel Hacking Live, which is our big event we do each year, winning a 2 Comma Club award. Is that crazy? So do you guys know, by the way, I think Moshe has probably knows, but if you don't know, this is a Two Comma Club award. You've probably seen people online holding these up, talking about them, but there's two commas right here on the record. And the reason why we create these awards, because for most people, most business owners, entrepreneurs, like if you look at any other industry, there's an award show, right? There's the Emmys or the Grammys or whatever the thing's happening. But in entrepreneurship, there's nothing really for us. And so we create this Two Comma Club award because there's 2 commas and $1 million. So every time someone has a funnel that passes the $1 million mark, we give them this funnel. So Stephanie was able to go do that with her own products because she knew the skill set. She knew how to build funnels. Then she just plugged her product, her service in, and boom, was able to go and win one of these awards. You guys getting this? Like that's one of you guys understanding is just like how powerful of a skill set this is. If you learn the skill set we're talking about for 5 days, you can take it and you can go apply it to any business and they can pay you to do that. Okay. And while you're getting paid to learn the skill set, then you come over here and at the same time, you can go and like start plugging in your own products or your own services. Okay. Another good example I'm going to share with you. This is one of my favorite stories. This is Noah Lenz. And Noah came to one of our, we have a young event we do for young entrepreneurs every single year. And at the time I made this interview with him, I think he was 14 years old and he was going out and same thing. He didn't have his own products, his own services. So he was building funnels for other people. And I asked him this question, and this is, I want you guys to pay attention because if you grasp what he says, it's going to change. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to change your life forever. Okay. Again, this is a 14-year-old kid who mastered the skill set of building funnels. And look what this skill set's been able to do for him. Okay. This is a really short clip from the interview, but check out what he said. Funnels for yourself and for other people. But when did you kind of decide, like, I'm going to build funnels, for Caleb, obviously, but other people, like, what was the reason why you kind of made that decision?
I like building funnels for Caleb, working with him and like not having to like worry about my own product. Like he worried about the product, fulfilling it, etc. All I needed to do was do the marketing, which is what I was really passionate about. In about June of 2018, I started my own agency.
How much do you charge somebody to build a funnel for them?
If someone wanted to work with me, I honestly would like probably only work with them if I got a certain amount of equity in the business.
He's negotiating equity already. I love it. Okay. Are you guys getting this? The reason I want to share that, I want you to understand that like when you master the skill set it's the most valuable thing you could possibly do to learn is how to build a funnel. Because if you have your own product, your own service, you plug a funnel in and boom, that's how you launch it into the internet, right? It's how you start getting traffic and sales and customers and start growing your company. Okay. If you don't have a product or service yet, cool. You still need to learn the skill set because you can do what Noah did and start building funnels for other people. What Stephanie did is start building funnels for other people. Okay. I don't care where you are on the spectrum. Like the most important skills that you could possibly learn today is building funnels. Okay. And that's why this week is so vital and so important. We're walking through what the very first, in fact, my next slide here is what's happening this week. Okay. So today we're going to be talking all about like how to actually bootstrap your business with a funnel. So that's what today's going to be all about. Okay. I'm going to show you guys some examples for some of my long-term ClickFunnels members. Some of this will be kind of a review for you guys, but I want to make sure that everybody understands like how this works and how you can bootstrap any business with a funnel. Right. And then that way you can think like, okay, how do I do this for my own product? Or if I'm going to go do this for a chiropractor or a dentist or my friend who's got a product who's struggling, or if I go to Amazon, look at all the authors, you see all these people have books that aren't selling. I can do it for different authors. I could there's a million, the opportunities are endless. There's so many ways to do it. So I want to really paint this picture of how you can bootstrap any business with a funnel. That's what today's all about. And like I said, I'm going to have 2 guests who have built huge companies and bootstrapped them with a funnel. They're going to come tell you their stories here in a few minutes. That's day number 1. Day number 2, now we're actually going to build your very first funnel. Okay. Now there's a lot of different types of funnels. I'll talk about those a little bit, but if I was to start a business today, like what would be the very first funnel I would build? Okay. Tomorrow we're going to talk about that. And then we're actually going to go into ClickFunnels. You're going to build out the very first funnel. So you can be like, oh my gosh, this actually was not that hard. Okay. Tomorrow's funnel is the most simple one too. It's a very easy one. It's going to be very quick for you guys to do. That way you can do it once and be like, oh my gosh, this works. And then that funnel type, every business needs it. So you could go right now and find a business owner, find one of your friends who owns a business and be like, hey, pay me $500. I'm going to build you your very first funnel. And you could do it for them because you'll have the skill set, right? And you could get better at it. And you keep doing it over and over again. Day number 3, we start talking about traffic. How do I get people now from the internet to click on something that actually brings them in my funnel so they come down to the product or service, okay? So day 3, you're going to learn about traffic and how easy, how fun traffic can be. It's going to be awesome. Day number 4, we're going to go deeper into the other types of funnels, okay? Because again, funnels are kind of like tools. Like there's a hammer, there's a saw, there's a drill, there's different tools you can use, right? So depending on the kind of business, you're going to use a different tool, right? So I'm going to show you guys different funnels so you understand them. So you're like, okay, if I'm working with this kind of person, this is what it's going to be. If I have a product like this, this is the right funnel for me. That's what happened day number 4. And then day number 5, we're going to focus on what's called follow-up funnels. These are the email sequences that go with it as well. Okay. So if you guys stick with me for the entire 5 days, by the time this thing is done, you're going to understand how funnels work. You have created your very first funnel, right? You'll know exactly how to get traffic from the internet to get people into that funnel, get leads and customers coming in. Then you'll learn about all the other types of funnels that are possible. And then you're going to learn how to build out email sequences and follow-up funnels. And it's going to be pretty amazing. Like I said, on day 6 on Saturday, we're going to have a huge party and celebrate and have some amazing speakers here to serve you guys as well. So that's what's going to be happening this week. And it's going to be really fun. Okay. How many of you guys right now are getting a little excited? You're like, okay, this is awesome. I want to be part of this. Okay. I want to tell you guys, people ask me, like, Russell, why do you teach this stuff all day long? Like, you could just be doing it. And the answer is I do this. I've got way more companies than I'm willing to admit right now, but I do build funnels. Like, I love it. Like, I'm obsessed with this. I log into ClickFunnels every day, multiple times. Like, I practice what I preach. I'm doing this. But at the same time, like, I remember the very first time, like, this opportunity of funnels was brought to my mind, and I saw it and I understood it. Okay. Here's a picture of me. I graduated from Boise State University, and I just wanted to prove to you that I'm not that smart. So if I can do it, you guys can do it. I graduated with a cumulative GPA of 2.389. Make sure my kids never see this presentation or these slides because but I was not a good student. I struggled really hard in school. And I was an athlete. I wrestled in my university, things like that. But when I was in school, I was trying to figure out how can I start money? Like, I met my wife. I fell in love with her. I wanted to marry her, but I had no money. Like, how do I do this? And I was trying to figure out how to make money on the internet. And eventually I bumped into this concept, and we didn't call them funnels back then, but it was a funnel. And some of you guys have heard my story. The very first product I ever created on the internet, and this is as good of an idea as I could come up with at the time, was a DVD called How to Make a Potato Gun. So I don't know if you guys see this on camera. This is product number 1 from Russell Brunson Enterprises. So literally, my buddy Nate and I were both on the wrestling team, and one day he's like, hey, we should go make potato guns. And I was like, what's a potato gun? And he's like, oh, you get these pipes together and you glue them together, you put a potato in and you shoot it, and it shoots like 100 yards. I was like, that sounds amazing. So we spent an entire week building potato guns, and they got done. Again, this is when I was trying to learn internet marketing, how to make money on the internet. I was like, I wonder if anyone else besides me was trying to learn how to make potato guns. And so I went and Googled, did some searches, and I found at the time there are 18,000 people a month searching for information on how to make a potato gun. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. So I went, and me and Nate went, and we got a little handy cam camera and went to Home Depot and filmed us buying the pipes and gluing them together and cutting them. And we made my very first product ever was this how to make potato guns. So I had a product, right? I was like, cool, I'm going to sell it. So I put up a website, and guess what? Nobody was buying it. It was really hard to sell it. I had a few sales coming in, but it wasn't the way it was supposed to be. And because all I had was a website, I didn't understand what a funnel was. And I'm not going to tell you the whole long story short, but eventually we did develop into a funnel. You can see on the slides here. We started going from selling just the DVD to we started upselling potato gun kits. In fact, do you guys want to see what one looks like? For those of you guys, this is what a potato gun looks like. So you take this big pipe right here. There's another pipe here. You jam a potato in here all the way down to the bottom. And then there's you spray hairspray in the back and you cap it. And there's a little button you click, and then it shoots potato out like 200 yards. It's amazing. And so we started selling these kits. In fact, this is one of my original potato guns, but we had kits with all sorts of different sizes. Like this is a little tiny mini kit called the City Slicker. So you can shoot little tiny potatoes. We had bigger sizes, but we started selling these kits, and that's when the funnel started actually making money, right? And I remember when I after it worked, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing in the world. Now, unfortunately for me, the potato gun market is not huge, right? There's like 20 dudes like me who want to make potato guns, and that's about it, right? But I learned the process. I was like, oh my gosh, if I take someone here and they buy this, and I have an upsell and a downsell, I learned what the process was. I was like, now that I understand that, like, I could do that in any business. And so I started becoming a little obsessed. And I started building funnels for a whole bunch of people, for my own businesses, other people's businesses, everybody I met on the street. I'm like, you got a product? I can help you build a funnel. Like, I met the guy who's the world's fastest reader, Howard Berg. I'm like, dude, nice to meet you. I can build you a funnel. I met somebody else. I met my buddy who's a dentist. Like, dude, you need a funnel, a chiropractor, funnel. Like, everyone I met is like, because I understood, I saw the vision of what the opportunity was, right? If I was able to make a whole bunch of money selling potato gun DVDs, for crying out loud, like, this could work in any business. And so if you throw my slides back up here, you'll see a couple years ago, I did an interview with Andrew Warner from Mixergy. He interviews people on their startup stories, and he asked me how many funnels I'd built. And so for the interview I prepped for, I started pulling them up, and these were a couple of the funnels that I built. Whoa, that slid way too fast here. So there they are, popping up here. These are a whole bunch of different funnels that I built before ClickFunnels, product after product, services, supplements, info products, network marketing companies, couponing, like everything I could dream of, I was building a funnel around it. You can see there's a couple of them right there. It's crazy when all said and done, I remember going back through and we tried to count them up. And before I launched ClickFunnels, I launched 150 different funnels. Okay. Now, not every funnel made money, but most of them did. Some made a little money, some made a lot of money. Some I did for other people and they paid me to build funnels. But like, man, it was amazing. I started learning the skill set. And the better I got the skill set, the more money I was able to make. He was right. He come to you guys like, you have to learn the skill set. It's the most valuable, most important thing you could ever learn, right? We call it like when you learn how to build a funnel, you become a rainmaker, right? Because you can bring the rain to any business. You can take the people from the internet and bring them to any company, right? As the rainmaker, you're the most valuable person in the company. You think, no, the person who started the company is the most important, right? No, the person who started the company is great, right? And then the people who create the product, those people are great, but the people that are the most valuable are the people that get customers to actually buy your product or service. And that's the role of a funnel. So those of you guys who become good at building funnels, you become rainmakers. That's why I can do 150 funnels, because every one of these things equals money, right? It becomes a business that we can make money with. Now, after we launched these 150 funnels, about that time, we're like, man, we should, like, this process, there's a lot of work that goes behind this. We should make this easier. And so we had this idea to build a company called ClickFunnels. Now, this is the pictures of us literally in this little tiny office we had at the time where we were launching all these funnels. And this is, you can see on the left-hand side here, this is Dylan Jones and Todd Dickerson, my two co-founders in ClickFunnels, and us in front of a whiteboard. And those little doodles on the whiteboard, that was the first ClickFunnels. We're doodling on the whiteboard, like, you should do this, and you click here, you should do this. And like, that was the beginning of this whole thing. Right? The right-hand side is us kind of building it. And so we had this idea to launch ClickFunnels. The problem was that when we did this, it was just us, right? Like, we didn't have a ton of money. I had the money that was in my wallet, and that was kind of it, right? That's what we had. And so we didn't have a whole bunch of people giving us money. In fact, we talked about it, like, in these rooms, these nights, like, man, should we go on Shark Tank? We go on Shark Tank, we show this idea, maybe Damon or Mark Cuban or someone would like invest in the company, and then we'd have much money to launch this thing. Right. And I'm sure you guys have had those conversations before. We had the conversation like, should we do it? Should we do it? But at the same time, like, we don't want to do that because I don't want to give away equity in my company. I don't want to give half my company to somebody else because then they're in charge of it. Right. If I give Damon half my company, he gets to call the shots. He gets to tell me what to do and not to do. And I don't know about you, but I want freedom. How many of you guys are here because you want freedom? Right. I watched your responses. Like, half of you guys or more. You're like, I want to do this because I want freedom. I want to get out of pain so I can have freedom. Like, that was the reason. Right? So many guys, I want freedom. And that's how I felt. Like, I don't want to give my company away because then I don't have freedom. Somebody else is going to tell me what to do. And so we're building ClickFunnels. And the problem we had at the time was interesting. There were two big companies we were competing against. The first one here on the left-hand side, they had just raised $38 million from investors. And the second one had just raised $127.9 million investors. So that's who we were competing against. $38 million, $127 million. And all we had was like a dream and a hope. And like, okay, well, we have the software to build funnels. We should build funnels to sell it, right? Like, that seems like it makes logical sense. And so we went out there to compete, and literally we went from zero to over $100 million in sales in just 3 years without taking on a penny of outside capital. We did it all, but yeah, you can cheer for that. You guys are exciting. Yes. We did all that without taking on a penny of outside investors. We did 100% bootstrapped our company, doing nothing but this thing right here. Can you see it? What is this thing? The big red one there? It's a funnel. We got really, really good at like practicing what we preach. We eat our own dog food. Like, we built funnels on ClickFunnels to sell ClickFunnels. And that's how we grew the company and scaled it so quickly. Right. I started sharing that message with other people, and they're like, well, I want to do that with my company. And we started looking at businesses after businesses. And again, you're going to hear from a bunch of them this week. People who had the same idea. They had a product or service, something they believed in. They plugged it into a funnel, and boom, it launched and started growing. Okay. And so that's what we want to share with you guys. That's what we're so excited for. Okay. We throw slides back up real quick. So, this is what it's funny, because after this, we tried, we had different people try to, who wanted more information about ClickFunnels, who want to invest in it. And we, to this day, have never taken on a penny in investment. We still own 100% of ClickFunnels, which is really nice. But it was interesting because we tried to explain to people, like, well, like, why wouldn't you take some of our money? Like, they wanted to give us money, kind of like Damon did in the video that we were joking about. We started asking for equity, right? And I tried to explain to him. I said, look, if you look at the way ClickFunnels works right now, if we buy an ad and we send it to ClickFunnels.com, what happens is, it costs us like $150 to $200 to get a free trial, right? So when all is said and done, like, we don't actually make any money, that much money, which is hard, right? Because we spend all this money and then like we don't make that much money. But I was like, I told them, like, we cost $200 to get a free trial. So the people with, the big sharks and the VCs were like, okay, this is cool. So if I give you $10 million, it means you could get us X amount of customers. If I give you $100 million, I get this much. I'm like, no, we turned all those ads off. I'm like, why would you turn those ads off? They're working. I'm like, because I'm bootstrapping this out of my own pocket. I don't have $200 to get someone to sign up for a free trial. Like, it's expensive, right? So what we did is we turned those ads off, and we started doing things differently. The way that I'm showing you guys over this week, we started buying ads, but instead of sending them directly to ClickFunnels, we send them through a funnel. Okay. They go through the funnel. What happens is they actually buy a product or service, and we make money back from them initially. And then after that, we introduce them to ClickFunnels. So we showed them the numbers on it, how it worked. I explained the first time, the venture capitalist, like, it doesn't make any sense to me. How does it work? So I explained it again the second time. It doesn't make any sense. I explained it the third time. And Mary looked at me and said, if what you're saying is true, He said, this will change the business as we know it forever. I said, exactly. That's my message. That's what we're trying to tell people, right? I was able to do for free with these companies over here. They got 127 million, 38 million. We blew past both of these companies in size and revenue and growth and everything. And they had all this cash they were burning, is dumping it into ads, hoping that they make money in the future. Whereas we were profitable every single day from day number one because we took all that traffic through a funnel. Okay. And that's what you guys understand. Like, this is the secret. This is how you grow and scale a company without giving half of your company or your equity to somebody else, because you don't have to. When you understand the skill set of building funnels, like, you're free. You keep 100% of your company, right? You can go to other people's company and get equity in their companies for building the funnel because they all need it, right? A funnel for me is more valuable than cash, right? So if you can come to someone and you could like literally start your own little mini Shark Tank and be like, look, I want 35% equity in your company. In exchange, I'll build you a funnel. And people will literally say yes, because you're the one who's the rainmaker. You can make it rain. You can bring people in there. Okay. So again, it doesn't matter if it's for your own product or for somebody else's. Like, understanding and mastering the skill set is the most important thing ever. Okay. So I want to jump into like some tactical things for you guys. Okay. The very first thing you have to understand for this whole process of building funnels, this is something we call funnel hacking. Now, all my longtime ClickFunnels members know this. They've heard me talk about this over and over and over again. So some of you guys, this is going to be a little bit of a review. If you can give me 8 minutes to explain it to everybody else. For those who are new to this world, this is going to be the 8 minutes that's going to blow your mind to see how simple this process actually is. Does that sound fair? Okay, so funnel hacking, and you probably heard we call, all of our members call themselves funnel hackers. There were t-shirts say funnel hackers. We have a big event called Funnel Hacking Live, right? And so what is funnel hacking? I want to explain this principle. It's really simple, but when you understand it, it's magic, okay? So the first thing to understand what funnel hacking is, I learned this from Tony Robbins. He said, if you want to achieve success, all you need to do is find a way to model those who've already succeeded. Okay, pretty simple, right? And I started thinking about different aspects of my life I've had success. And as I told you guys earlier, I'm a wrestler. So when I was growing up, I was a wrestler. And at first, I wasn't very good. I remember my dad took me to the very first state tournament. We watched the people who won it. And we saw one guy who was really, really good, who won the state title for my high school. So my dad videotaped him and went back and we started watching that videotape every single day. We would drill and we would drill and we would drill. We go home, we practice. And what happened is in a very short period of time, I went from not being a very good wrestler to winning a state championship and taking second place in the country and getting a college scholarship, right? Because I modeled those who are already successful. The same thing is true in business. In fact, you may think like, oh, Russell's probably got a business degree from blah, blah, blah. I don't. In fact, I got a C in my marketing degree from Boise State University, okay? I am not good at business. I'm not good at marketing. I was not good at school. But when I started online, I was like, there's other people doing this. So I started looking at what they were doing. I said, okay, what are they doing? How is it working? I started modeling what they were doing. And in a very short period of time, I went from not having a business at all to within a year graduating from college, I made over $1 million online, okay? So this is the key, you guys. If you want to be successful, all you have to do is find a way to model those who've already succeeded. So I'm going to show you how to do that. The other thing I want you to understand about the funnel hacking process is this is a funny quote. It says, you can always tell who the pioneers are because they have arrows in their back and they're lying face down in the dirt. Okay. You don't want to reinvent the wheel. The reason why most entrepreneurs end up not having success is not because they're not passionate about their product or their product's not good or whatever. It's because they run out of time or money before they get their idea into the world. Right? So many people come in our world like, I'm just going to figure it out and say, no, you don't need to do that. Like, funnel hacking is powerful because I don't have to go get the arrows in my back. Like, I'm going to go look who's already figured this out, who's already figured out how to be successful in this market, and then we model them. Okay. So a good example is when I launched my very first supplement company, it was a product called Neuracell. And when I launched this company, again, I never had a supplement company. I didn't know what to do. And so I started looking out there and I started following this funnel hacking process. So the first step in the process was find somebody else who's already had success in this. And then we're going to funnel hack them, which means model. Okay. And so I found a company, and this was a company who was also selling a neuropathy supplement like I had, right? So I remember going to this website and looking at it and being like, man, this site is ugly. It's like literally, excuse me, got some water down the wrong tube. So this is literally like the ugliest website I've ever seen, right? And excuse me, let me try one more time here. So I looked at this and I was like, because I'm a marketing guy, I built 150 funnels up to this point. I was looking at this, I was like, I can do something better. Like, I have smarter ways to do it and stuff. And I was like, you know what? Instead of me trying to figure this out for my own, this is a different segment, a different market I've never been in. Maybe these guys know something I don't know. Maybe they've got arrows in the back and they already know this works, right? So I built my very first version of our sales funnel. I modeled it. Okay. And this is the very first version we did. So notice we modeled the look, the feel, the layout. Now, we didn't copy anything. Some people think funnel hacking means copying. That is not. That's illegal. It's unethical. If you're someone who we find out you're copying and plagiarizing our platform, we kick you off. Like, that's not what funnel hacking is. Okay. Funnel hacking is looking at something and then modeling it. So if you notice, I looked at theirs. They had a logo on the left-hand side. So I put a logo on my left-hand side. They had a phone number on the right-hand side. I put a phone number. They had a headline. I had a headline. They had a picture of the product. I had a product. I modeled the look, the fill out, the layout, like the look, the feel, the layout, the price points as much as I could. But the elements are mine, like my color scheme, my copy, my headline, my product, my things. My model as close as I could. I took this and we launched it. And that was how I launched this supplement initially. And at first it actually did pretty good. Like it was making some success. I was like, cool, this is working. But I wanted to figure out like, how do I grow this bigger? I knew that this company at the time was doing, I think at the time they did like $100,000 a month in sales or something like that. It's like, what are they doing? I got to figure it out. And so I did something really powerful that all entrepreneurs have to be good at doing. I went and I got my wallet out of my pocket. I opened it up, pulled my credit card out, and I bought their product. And why would I do that? Okay. The reason why is because typically when we go and we see somebody doing something online, you probably heard this analogy before, but you see, there's this thing here, right? And what we see is the tip of the iceberg, right? You see this right here. So like this landing page with the tip of the iceberg, but I'm like, if they're making all that money, like what's happening down here that I'm not seeing? I'm missing all the rest of it, right? So I can just like guess or assume, or I can do what I think is the simplest thing in the world, which is pull my wallet out of my pocket, pull my credit card out, and actually bought the product. Okay. Now, unfortunately for me and for them, they didn't have anything. You bought it and then took you to a page like said, thank you. And that was it. I was like, they don't actually have a funnel. So I was like, there's gotta be someone in this market who understands what a funnel is. So I started looking around and eventually I found this company right here. And they were doing at the time, I think like $3 million. Like they were a bigger company. And I remember going to this page, like, this is a weird page. It had a headline and a video. I clicked the add the cart button, took me this weird order form, and it had like 1, 3, or 4 bottles and all this stuff. And I was like, that's kind of weird. But then guess what I did? Dude, every good entrepreneur has to become good at doing. Pull my wallet out of my pocket and I bought their product because I want to see the rest of the iceberg. What's happening on the other side? So I bought the product. And on the next page, I saw an upsell. Okay, I'm like, okay, these guys know what a funnel is. I'm so excited. But what was crazy is they were upselling 6 more bottles of the exact same thing I just purchased. I remember looking at it thinking, are they crazy? Do they think I'm a drug addict? I just bought 4 bottles like 2 seconds ago and they're upselling me 6 more. And so my head's like, I can do something better. I had all these other different ideas. And then all of a sudden I stopped. I said, what if they know something I don't know? So instead, I took my skepticism, I hung it up on the wall. I said, I'm just going to model what they're going to do. So I went through the rest of the funnel, and this is the funnel, these 5 pages. That was it. Very simple. So I said, okay, this is the model. I need to create something like this if I'm going to be successful, right? Model people who are successful. So I went back to drawing boards. I sketched out on a whiteboard, okay, I need to have these different pages. This is what it's going to do. And I came back, and I went to ClickFunnels, and I built it out. So there's page number 1. Again, notice I didn't copy anything, but the structure is the same, right? Headline, video, add to cart button. You click on the add to cart button, it took them to an order form. And I said, I offer 1, 3, and 4 bottles just like they did, right? The order form. And then I upsold 6 more of the exact same thing, upsell 2, upsell 3, right? So I modeled as close as I could. We launched this into the internet and it blew up. Now I'm not supposed to talk about income claims. There's numbers or stuff like that. But this company started growing rapidly. And it was amazing. Now what's crazy about this is like for me to learn how to craft this funnel, I didn't have to go pay someone $100,000 in coaching or go to business school or anything. All I had to do was invest like $100 to buy the actual product. And I was able to see behind the scenes all the other things that were happening. And then we could model it for our business, right? Now, the first time I shared this with somebody was actually one of my friends. They had launched a new supplement called Organifi. And they were about to launch it. They're struggling with it. And so I said, well, let me show you my funnel. So I showed them my funnel. I said, this is what I did. You guys should just model it for what you're doing. And so they modeled it, they launched, and I got a really quick video. It's kind of blurry, but this is Jamel, who's one of the head guys over there at an event, kind of like the one you're in right now, that talking about the results they got. So I want you guys to watch this really quick video to understand exactly what it is. So here we go.
So real quick backstory. I had a chance to go out and spend a little while with these guys in their company, and they were about to launch a new supplement. And they're like, hey, look at our funnel. What should we do? And I was like, just copy mine. It works really, really good. So I'd love for you to kind of talk about what happened when you guys did your funnel and then some of the results that have happened since then.
Yeah, I'd like to re-emphasize his point about just cloning and copying and modeling what works. So we are a digital product company. We have information products, coaching products, and we were doing about $1 million a year. And I manage all the sales funnels and sales optimization. And we were going to come out with the physical product line. And we're like, who's done this before? Who's been really successful? We reached out to Russell. He helped us model exactly NerdSell. Actually, it's funny because I'm looking at what you modeled, and I had the exact same reaction. The first upsell that we have in place is more of the same thing that they just bought. And we were like, well, that doesn't make any sense. So we sold them a bottle of our new product called Organifi. Our first one-time offer was 3 more bottles after they already bought that. And the take rate was like 20 or 30%. Then we thought, Russell actually mentioned, we should implement subscription on everything. So we had 3 options. We modeled exactly Russell's first sales page: 1 bottle, 3 bottles, 4 bottles. Modeled his pricing: $47, $129, $149, exactly the same. Sorry for stealing everything, but it works.
I love it. It's still away.
Yeah. And then once we implemented all the pieces, in actually like a week, which is crazy, we matched his results. We're doing, am I allowed to say the numbers or? Yeah.
I hope so. I want to hear them.
Yeah.
Who wants to hear his numbers?
Yeah.
I want to hear his numbers. Let's hear them.
We're actually going to mute the numbers, so I'm not supposed to share income, things like that. So we're going to mute it for a second, and then we'll come back and hear the end results. But it was crazy. This funnel blew up like crazy. In fact, if you know Organifi, it's one of the most successful supplement companies on the internet right now, which is really, really cool.
Because of the way that the funnels are structured. So it's really exciting. And we owe a lot to Russell. I mean, he came out, he helped us with our funnels. He broke down everything we were doing wrong, everything we were doing right, and showed us exactly what they did. And we just copied it, and it works. So
That's awesome. Give him a round of applause.
So thank you,
Awesome.
Russell. Yeah.
You guys getting this? This is how it works, all right? So again, I saw it in I'm reading the comments right now. People are like, well, this worked for travel agencies, work for this, work for this. Like, yes, it works for any business that needs traffic or that needs leads or sales. So if your business needs leads or sales, funnels work for you, okay? So yes, it does work for supplement funnels like we just showed, but it also works for coaching funnels, info product funnels, e-commerce funnels, network marketing funnels, affiliate funnels, funnels for real businesses like brick and mortar businesses. It works for generating leads. It works for all types of funnels and all types of businesses. And so that's what I want you to understand. Like, this is the big opportunity. Every company needs one of these things right here. Okay. So for you to either be the rainmaker who brings it to them or to do it for your own business is the secret. It is the key, right? Okay. So you guys remember the app back in the day? It was like, there's an app for that. It's the same thing with this. There's always a funnel for that. Like every type of business, everything you're looking for, there's a different funnel. And again, on day 4, I'm going to show you guys a whole bunch of different funnel types. So you can learn them and understand them, but understand that there's an app for every single thing. Okay. So it doesn't matter what business you're in, there's a funnel for that. And you'll learn how it works. In fact, one we're going to show you guys tomorrow, you're going to actually be building is a funnel that'll work for any type of business, okay? In fact, it's the first one I build with every business that I have a chance to work with, which is why we call it the Your First Funnel Challenge, right? Okay, so the goal for you is to figure out, like, what kind of funnel do I actually want to use, okay? And so I'm going to show you guys just another case study because a little while ago, I wrote a book. I've written 3 books now, and this is my 3rd book. It's called Traffic Secrets. In fact, a lot of you guys, it was one of the order form offers, and a lot of you guys bought it, so thank you very much for buying it. But this book's about how to get traffic into your funnels. Now, I've always had a goal. I've always wanted to be a New York Times bestseller. It's interesting. They even say that, like, of all the different prestige you could have, like to be an Olympic champion, to be a whatever, like a CEO, an executive, like all the different, like the highest prestige in every market. They did a survey, and it was this huge survey, and like of all of the things you could be, the thing that brought most people like the highest level of like admiration was a New York Times bestselling author. Like it's the best of them all. So I was like, okay, someday I gotta have like that is the goal. I want to have that. So as we were launching this book, I was looking at like most people launch books, right? They go to Amazon, they list on Amazon, and on Amazon you can sell a book for $15, which is good, but it's like I've never seen someone sell 30, 40, 50,000 books on Amazon. Well, that's not true. There are people, but like she wrote Harry Potter, so she, people will buy her book. But for most people, like you can't just throw a book on Amazon and hope to make thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of sales, right? The New York Times bestseller list, you're looking at like 30, 40, 50,000 books sold in a single week. So I'm like, I don't know how to do that on Amazon. I don't control any of the thing. And so I was like, I need to figure out what we can do. Like, how do I have success? So guess what rule number 1 was? First thing I did, I'm going to go funnel hack. Who are the other people who have New York Times bestselling books that have funnels? Let me see what they're doing. Right. And I built one for Tony Robbins back in the day. I looked at that one. We built one for Grant Cardone, for Dave Asprey, for Dean Graciosa, uses book funnels to sell his books. But I went through and tried to find as many as I could. I found probably, 30 or 40 people who had book funnels they were selling. So I went through and we funnel hacked all of them. I took screenshots of every single page. I made this Trello board. You can see here is a Trello board with all the different book funnels so I could see what they all look like. And I said, okay, based on everything I'm seeing, everything I'm learning, what does like the perfect book funnel look like? I said, okay, well, page number 1 looks like this, page 2. And so from there, we built out what became our control. And so this is what the book funnel looked like. It's very simple. It's only 4 pages plus an order form bump, which we'll talk about that more on Thursday. But this was the book funnel. It was really simple. So we went through and said, okay, this is now we know exactly what we need to create to make a successful book funnel, right? So we went and did page number 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. We got the whole thing done, right? I came back and I said, okay, here's the internet, right? There's Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all different things right here. I had my book that I wanted to sell. I needed a funnel. This is going to be the key, right? So we built the funnel, which is the book funnel. We launched it out to the internet and we started selling books. We started selling a lot of books. And I told you guys before, my goal was like, man, if I could just do one thing, I wanted to be a New York Times bestselling author. And the very first week we launched it, put it out there in the world. I think we sold like 10,000 copies of the book through the funnel. And guess what happened? Nothing. I didn't hit the list. I was like, dang it. Okay, I need to sell more books than week number 2. So I'm back, so okay, we got to drive more traffic and more people into the funnel. Start focusing, getting more people in, selling the book. Week number 2, we sold like 20-something thousand copies of the book and nothing. I was like, this is horrible. I've put so much effort into this. I was like, okay, well, can I sell more copies of the book? And the cool thing is because the way the book funnel is structured, for every $1 we put into selling the book, we put $1 advertising in and we get $2 back out. Okay, that's what happens with the funnel when you do it correctly. You put $1 in advertising to Facebook or Instagram. People buy the book. There's upsells and downsells through the funnel. And at the end of it, if you do it correctly, you make more money than you spend. So I was like, okay, well, let's ramp up our ad spend. Let's sell some more. Third week, we start driving traffic. We started to make more and more book sales. And in the third week, every Friday, I get a call from my book agent. He's like, oh, sorry to make it. Third week, I get a call, waiting for the same thing. And he says, hey, Russell, he's sitting down. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, guess what? You made it. And I started freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, like it worked, right? I was able to use a book funnel to get literally tens of thousands of people in a very short period of time to come through and buy my book. So we're able to hit the New York Times bestselling list, okay? And so that's what's crazy. Think about it. If you're like, hey, I want to find clients who want book funnels, you go to Amazon, there's like 8 billion books, and most of them don't sell any copies. The average author sells like 30 copies, and most of them to like their friends and family members. You could go there to all and be like, hey, I know how to do a book funnel. Who here wants a book funnel? You could like line them up, start building book funnel after book funnel after book funnel. Or if you've written your own book, you can do it as well, right? Every funnel is this way. You can do it for somebody else who needs it, or you can do it for yourself. Now, there's lots of different types of funnels. We're going to talk more about them on Thursday. In fact, there's 12 core ones that we talk a lot about. There's squeeze page funnels, survey funnels, summit funnels, challenge funnels, book funnels, cart funnels. There's all these different funnel types, right? And each one of them has a positive, has a benefit. And if you learn it, again, you can use it for yourself, or you can go find other people who need that. Right? Authors need book funnels. Speakers need webinar funnels. People selling physical products need cart funnels. So if you're selling physical product, boom, master the cart funnel. Or if you don't, but you have someone who's selling something like that, go and do a cart funnel for them, right? That's the power of what we're talking about. Okay. And so that's what's going to be happening throughout this weekend. Again, hopefully today I've helped you guys understand, like, this is how we bootstrap companies. This is how we hit the New York Times bestseller list. I had a friend who hit the country list using a funnel, selling his CDs to get himself on the country Billboard top 100 list, right? We do it all the time to sell our products, our services. I've seen people go in a brand new network marketing company and hit the top ranks in a very, very short period of time, all by using funnels. Like, it's the key. It's the secret. It's the biggest skill set I want you guys to understand. Okay. So that's the core things I want to help you understand today. Tomorrow, like I said, what we're going to dive in and you're going to actually build out your very first funnel, which is going to be fun. Wednesday, we're going to get into traffic. Day 4, we're talking about these other funnel types. You can understand what they are and how they work. Again, they're all like different tools. This one's a hammer. This one's a saw. This one's a drill. You can learn all those. And day number 5, we're going to talk about follow-up funnels, which are email funnels. Okay, a couple more things before I introduce our guest speakers. How many of you guys have seen this show before, this movie? Okay, Karate Kid. Let's point this direction on thing. Karate Kid. So you got Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off, right? The premise of this is that Mr. Miyagi is teaching Daniel-san how to fight, right? And so you walk in there and Mr. Miyagi's like, hey, first thing you gotta do is you gotta wax the car. So he's like waxing the car and Daniel-san's like, oh, trying to do it. No, like grabs his hand, wax on, wax off, right? Wax on, wax off. And so he spends a whole day waxing all these cars, doing the wax on, wax off. And Daniel-san's getting so mad because he wants Mr. Miyagi to like show him the actual thing. And then Mr. Miyagi comes like, okay, now I'll teach you the next thing. He goes over the fence, remember, like paint the fence up and then down, and paint the fence up and then down. And he's like super annoyed, like, okay, like I'm trying to learn karate here. And for 4 or 5 days, Mr. Miyagi's doing this. And finally, Daniel-san gets so fed, he like throws his things down, like, dude, I wanted you to teach me karate and you make me do all your chores. And then Mr. Miyagi goes and throws a punch at Daniel-san, right? And what does he instinctively do? Whoosh, wax on. And then he throws another punch, whoosh, wax off. There's another one, wax on, wax off. And he does another kick and he like paints the fence and blocks it. He starts doing these things. All of a sudden he realizes that the master was teaching the whole time. Okay? This is something you're going to feel throughout this challenge. I'm going to be having you do things. You're like, this makes no sense, Russell. Why are we waxing on? I'm trying to build a book funnel. Why are we doing this right here? I'm trying to build a funnel over here. I don't even have a funnel yet, Russell. Okay, I promise you there's a method to the madness. This is the Mr. Miyagi lessons, right? We're going to be waxing on, waxing off, but it's going to come to a point where you're like, oh, that's why Russell had me do this. Okay. In fact, every single day I'm going to give you a homework assignment. Today's homework assignment is going to be a fun one. It's going to be a little goofy. And it's probably something you're going to throw away at the end of it. It doesn't really matter. But it's important because this is you waxing the car to start learning these principles in this process. Okay. So here's what the homework is going to be for tonight. This is ClickFunnels 2.0. I was telling you guys about this new platform. Okay. Those of you guys who upgrade to VIP, you have access to this for 30 days for free. If you have it, I'm going to recommend you guys get VIP just so that number 1, you can hang out with us in the Zoom room, which is really fun, be on the VIP calls. But number 2, that way you have access to the software to do your homework. Okay. So you can log in the software to build your homework. And the cool thing about ClickFunnels 2.0 is it's not ClickFunnels, it's not just a funnel building platform. ClickFunnels 1.0 was the best in the world of building funnels. ClickFunnels 2.0 is still the best in the world of building funnels, but it's also your entire business. Okay. We built this to be enterprise software. So it builds your website. It does your CRM. It does your email marketing. It does like everything happens here inside ClickFunnels. So when you first log in the first time, it's probably gonna be a little like, whoa, there's a lot of stuff happening, right? And so I'm gonna walk you through kind of how it works really quickly. And that way, when you go and do your homework tonight, you know exactly what to do, okay? If you look on the left-hand side over here, of the thing, that there's the different sections in ClickFunnels 2.0. Now, it's important to understand that the reason why we broke these in different sections is because as your business starts growing, it's not going to be just you doing all these things. Someday you're going to hire someone to do customer support, and you only want them logging into the customer support section. You don't want them building funnels and messing something up. And you're going to have funnel builders, you want building your funnels, but you don't want them seeing how much money you're making. And you have people driving traffic, you want driving traffic, but not messing with their funnels. So each of these tabs, you can hire different staff and just let them have access to certain things, okay? But for you, if you're just getting started, you're going to have to kind of learn all these things, which is fun. So if you look at the side, the first thing is your websites and your funnels. That's where we're going to spend most time in our homework tonight. There's websites and funnels. Number 2 is where you put your products in. Number 3 is where you have a chance to see all your orders that are coming in. Number 4, all your contacts, all the people that are in their system. Next is the analytics. This is all the different analytics that seeing how many people are coming through your funnels, what's working, what's not working. Down here, marketing. This is all your email marketing and follow-up sequences. Down here is sales. This is your CRM. So when someone comes in, you can take them through a whole CRM process. This is your other settings. And then down here is your payment platform. So this is where you manage your payments, your subscriptions, all that kind of stuff all happens here. So 100% of your business is run through ClickFunnels 2.0. This isn't just like a nice to have tool, like, oh, I need a funnel. Like, no, everything you're like, I log into this dashboard, I don't know, 30 times a day. I'm looking for my sales stats, my traffic, my analytics. I'm building new funnels. I add new products. Like, this is something you will become so familiar with because you're going to be logging in every single day, playing with it. Like, it is the backbone and the key of your entire business. Okay. That's the power of what we're talking about here. Okay, but for your homework tonight, you're going to be focusing just on this. So you can click on the Sites and Funnels tab. And then right here, this is going to be the first default website you're creating. Okay, now I'm going to have you guys create something fun today. And what you're going to be creating, I think it's on the next, is it on this slide? Yeah, so you're going to show, okay, come back. So we're going to build this slide out tonight. So you can click right here on domains. And don't stress out. There's a video I'm going to show you after this that you'll have when you're off this. But you can click on domains button. You can click on buy domains, and you're going to buy a domain. So a lot of you guys are like, well, I don't know what domain I'm going to buy. What am I going to do? I want you to buy your domain, specifically like your name. So if you were me, you would buy russellbrunson.com. Or if you are someone else, you buy bradpitt.com. Now, if Brad Pitt happens to be your name and Brad Pitt already owns bradpitt.com, use the Brad Pitt or Brad Pitt official or Brad S. Pitt or whatever, you're like some version of your name. Okay. But I want you guys to buy your name because then it's going to mean something to you. Right. And we're actually going to go through and you're going to build something on your own name. Okay. Now, again, the nice thing about this is that you can delete it. You can throw it away. It doesn't matter. But I want to start here because if I don't, I say, hey, I want you to build a brand on your, or I want you to buy a domain based on your brand. Most of you guys are like, I have no idea what my brand is yet. And you're going to sit here for the next 6 weeks thinking about it. Okay. How many of you guys know what your name is? Okay, cool. Then you're going to buy your name or some variation of your name. I tried to buy it the other day, but I already owned russellbrunson.com. So you'll see on the training video, I bought rustybrunson.com because when I was a kid, my parents called me Rusty. So I now own rustybrunson.com because I did a homework assignment with you guys last night. Okay. So pick whatever variation, just buy your name. Okay. And it's going to be cool to have anyway. So you're going to buy your name. I'll have a video walk through the process. And then you're going to pick this. You can click on, after that, you can click on explore new themes. This one will pop up, which is the Jane Doe theme. And you can change the name Jane Doe to I'm Russell Brunson. And you're going to put in your info and you're going to put a picture of yourself and you can go through and I have a video that's going to walk you through the whole process, but that's what I want you guys doing. Okay. It's very fast. It's very simple, but this is the whole Mr. Miyagi wax on, wax off stuff. By doing this, you're going to learn how ClickFunnels actually works. You're going to actually do it once. We found this really interesting thing. The people who sign for ClickFunnels and never actually do anything, they end up canceling. It's weird. The people who sign up and then they do something are the same people who actually make money with it. What? This is crazy. It's blowing my mind. So my job tonight is to get you to log in and do something. Okay. Because after you've done something, you're like, oh, I can actually, like, that was actually insanely easy. Holy cow. Okay. And then tomorrow when we're building your first funnel, it's not going to be stressful and anxiety and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So tonight's just about having some fun. It's going to break. You're going to mess it up. Okay. This is a brand new platform. You might see a bug come up. There might be some issue. Like, it's going to be okay. Okay. This is all about just testing and playing with it. I look at my business career, me launching the whole, like, how to make a potato gun product. Like, this was great. I learned how to build a funnel, how to create a product. I learned all this stuff. This didn't make me rich, but I learned the skill set. This was my own Mr. Miyagi waxing on. I said, if I can do this potato guns, what else can I do it with? And open up a whole new world, right? So you guys can be going through the process to practice it once through here, okay? All right, so that's what's going to happen. You're going to have your own version of it, and we're going to get it live. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to give you guys a link to the homework. This homework will have the checklist of all the things you got to do, plus videos of me doing it at my house. I did it last night at my house. So I just to make sure it all worked. And so you just watch the videos and you copy me, and it's really easy. So this is the one pager. You can see the link right there. It says yourfirstfunnel.challenge.com/day1. When you go to that page, it pulls up that one pager. You can save it if you want, or you can just watch videos there and close it afterwards. But it has all the different steps for you to actually build out your very first funnel, or excuse me, the homework assignment for tonight, which is really easy. And so that way you click play the video, pause, go do it. Click play, pause, go do it. And by the time you're done, you'll have your name site live. And then I want you to come back to the Facebook group and be like, my name's live, and post it. And that's all. See how many of you guys can post your names in the Facebook group with a page behind it, and just to see how quick you guys can do it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Okay. That's number one. Number two, if you didn't upgrade to VIP yet and you don't have a ClickFunnels account, you can get a free 30-day account to it. You just go to yourfirstfunnel.challenge.com/VIP, get the VIP account, and then that way you can do it. Again, you have a 30-day trial. So at the end of 30 days, if you're like, I don't like ClickFunnels, then you can cancel. You can cancel them at 7 days. On Saturday after the challenge is over, you can cancel. I don't care. I just want you to get the VIP account so you can play. Right? If you can't play with it, you can't use it. How are you going to get a funnel if you don't have the software that builds funnels? So like that's why we're giving you a 30-day trial. Go in there and play with it, and it'll make it really fun and exciting. Okay, so now you guys have heard me talk about this for the last hour. And obviously, I'm excited. I think it's the greatest thing in the world. But I've got some really cool guests that I want to introduce to you guys. We're going to come up and tell their stories because they were just like you. People who were trying to figure these things out. They had a product or a service, something they cared about, and they're trying to figure out how in the world they could use this stuff to grow and get their message out to more people. And so I've got two speakers right now are going to come, and then I'm going to come back up and I have another speaker as well. And both of them you guys want to hear, because one of them have built a huge company selling their own information, like their own courses and products and seminars. And the other one's built a huge company selling physical products. And so I want you guys to see both aspects, because funnels work for any kind of business that you're trying to do. So my first two guests here, there's someone who I met 4 or 5 years ago. They came into my world and I didn't know their story at the time, but I've watched them as they have literally built a company and a movement that has changed people's lives. In fact, it changed my life. I've had a chance to go to their events. I went to Jamaica with them and like experience what they do. But they help relationships. They help couples. They have relationships. I don't know if I can share the numbers and stats. They probably will. But their divorce rate is like almost nothing. People who go through their programs, they have one of the most amazing processes ever. And so the fact that we've had a chance to be able to use funnels to help get their message out to more people has been one of the greatest honors of my life. And so I'm grateful to have them here to share their message. So with that said, we can put our hands together for Stacy and Paul Martino. Welcome to stage.
Amazing! Thanks, man. Glad you're here. Awesome, yeah.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
So first of all, can we just give a huge hand for Russell Brunson and what he already did for us today? I will just say, I don't think there's a single person in this room that their number one thing would have been the only thing, the only regret I have at all about funnels is that I didn't start sooner. And I think everyone in here would say that. And so like to see everybody that's here, because we see all your beautiful faces, and to know that like, this is how, hi, yes, I see you too. This is how we're starting. Like what an unbelievable start, right, guys? Like anybody would have wanted this to be the start. So I'm so glad that you're here today. And we're going to share a little bit about our first funnel and our first time with figuring this out and using this. So just a quick thing about Paul and I, our story starts 22 years ago when Paul was actually leaving. He was walking out the door and told me that he didn't think there was any future for us together. And in a moment of desperation, I somehow figured out how to single-handedly save our relationship because he was gone. It wasn't going to be like a couples thing. And along the way, I made a unique discovery, which is that it only takes one person to save any relationship, to transform any relationship. But at the time, it was just for us, right? It was for us and our family and our future and our happily ever after. But then years later, something very interesting happened.
So, you know, Stacy had gone through this amazing process with us and really transformed our relationship. And I was not a willing participant in the beginning. I was ready to go. And, you know, what she had done single-handedly had transformed me as well, too, where I had a magic moment once where it was like about a year after we had this big hanging by a thread moment. I kind of woke up and I realized I was like the happiest I've ever been. And there's a whole lot to our story, but it transformed us. It transformed us. It saved us. And we found ourselves years down the road where now we've got kids, and I was dropping off our 4-year-old at school. And as he's getting out of the car, he hops down and he says, so-and-so's parents are getting divorced. And I was just saying, hey, have a great day at school, love you. And he just kind of blurts that out. And it kind of stopped me in my tracks for a minute because we knew this family. Now, we weren't close friends, but they weren't just acquaintances either. So we knew those people. And I thought about it, and they had a son, my son's age. And then this boy also had another brother. And I was thinking about, man, like, first of all, I'm so glad that's not his story. I'm so glad that's not us. We had dropped him off, and then the whole way back, it was haunting me. I'm like, you know what? Stacy and I had been through a lot, and this happened to be in that 2009 timeframe where there's a lot of financial crisis in the world. And I knew that family enough to know that, A, they didn't need to be divorcing. They didn't need to be separating. We knew they had financial stress. Stacy and I also had the same financial stress, but we got tighter. Like, our relationship was one where things got difficult. We got tighter. So the whole way home, this thing just kept haunting me over and over. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, man, if we see things differently as a result of what Stacy did and how it transformed our life, like, we knew enough to know that they were compatible. Like, this was an unnecessary situation where people are getting divorced and there are kids in that household. So, like, it just, like, grinded at me and haunted me for a couple of weeks. And I started off that day. I was telling Stacy, I'm like, we're at the table. And I was like, man, like, this is rough. And it just kept building and building where we had more and more conversations where finally it just got to the point where it became obvious. It wasn't because we were so close to those people that we were so affected. It was just a case where what we saw with clarity from our experience, from what Stacy had done, we could see everywhere. So it really became a thing of looking around and seeing a lot of unnecessary divorces and unnecessary suffering. A lot of families being torn apart that were quite clearly, from our perspective, unnecessary, and yet not doing anything about it. So it was really hard to walk away from that. Haunting continues. Stacy and I kept talking about it. And then eventually hit the point where we're like, look, it's not that we can no longer just sit back and watch people suffer this way. It's
Amen.
What kind of people would we be? There was no escaping this. So it was about how do we help people? How are we possibly going to help people? So what happened was we were like trying to figure it out. Like, what are we doing? If we had to teach this, what would we do? So Stacy really dug in particular for like it was about 1.5 years, 2 years, and really tried to figure out how do we take what it is that we know and what we did and put it into something where other people can do it too. So full-time jobs, 2 kids, trying to get all this done, right? But we had no choice. It really was like we just can't look away anymore. So, we put a lot of time and effort into it. And then after about 1.5 years, 2 years, we hit a point where in that year, even though working full-time and all that, we were able to help 6 families. And, that sounds great. 6 families is phenomenal. Even 1 family would be great.
Amen.
And yet, if you look around and everywhere you look, there's still unnecessary suffering. Is 6 people enough? I don't think so. So we had to become students. We had to learn. That moment for us was a defining moment when I dropped off Jake at school. But like that, it didn't end there. That was just the beginning. So it's really a case where we had to just figure out how do we have this great thing? By the way, the people that we were helping, they were happier. They were transforming their marriages. In general, they were across the board transforming things for the better across other relationships too. So we're like, okay, we have something great. How do we get in front of other people? So we had to become students, much like everybody else who has something that's great. They're just like, hey, I want to get this into the world. So we became students, and that was a journey all by itself. So, it culminated with us getting momentum. We kept, we're doing this on our own. We kept getting more and more people in, but it was still just an absolute struggle. And then we just kind of went all in. There was a period where we spent 6 months nonstop because we had heard about this thing called webinars. And we're like, okay, this is the way to get in front of more people. If we can do one of these webinars, then a lot of people can see what we're doing, and the people who are interested are going to find us. And finally, we can show them, hey, there's an opportunity here for you. We spent 6 months, day and night, working our butts off, still full-time jobs, just trying to do everything we could to get this to take off. We did a phenomenal job in a sense. We got 17,000 people lined up for our webinar. During that time, and we were blown away. We're like, this is it. Thank God. Like, we can finally do something on a scale where it's going to make from our perspective, a difference.
That's right.
Our hearts were whole in for this. We poured our hearts out during the webinar. We taught. We delivered all this amazing stuff. We thought anyway, we're like, okay, here it is. We're trying to show you. And then after that, 17,000 people who showed up. By the way, they didn't just get there by accident. It wasn't because they were bored. They needed something. We knew we had what they needed. They needed something, and we were here to meet 70,000 people. And then at the end of that webinar, you know how many people actually chose to move forward with our programs so we can help them? Zero. Zero out of 17,000 of people who were interested in what we had to offer. So that was another defining moment for us that we didn't forget. And I will toss to you at this point, I think, to explain that part. So
If you could imagine the heartbreak of pouring so much into what you figured, like, this is it. We're finally doing that. Like, even right now, 17,000 people coming to a webinar, like, oh my gosh. But that night, you know, we're a mission-based organization. Like, Paul and I do this because it's our mission and our calling. And that night, like, after I got over being so stunned, I was like, what, how is that even possible? Paul and I were in our room, and I had a total meltdown. In fact, it was one of several times that I was crying on the bathroom floor in my husband's arms. And for me, it was the number of children that would be in those homes that night without us to guide them forward, not knowing what they were going to overhear, what was going to happen, what was going to be the future for those parents. Like, the weight of who was going to stand up and help speak for these children was just overcoming me. And I literally unraveled and unloaded and did what we always do when we get to the end of our rope, which is I just prayed. It's already on my knees, so you might as well pray. And I just said, God, if you really want us to get out in the world and you want us to help people and not just close this up, there's easier things to do in life. If you want us to help people, then you need to send me the how, because I am not going to figure this out by myself. Whatever you send me, I will do. Always be careful what you promise when you are in conversation with your Lord. And I said, I will do it, whatever it takes. I'm at the end of my rope. I don't know what to do. And the next morning, I happened to be in Facebook, and I saw this. No joke, this was the exact ad, and it said, do you want to figure out how to fill your programs through webinars? And I literally sat there and looked up and said, this child, this 13-year-old child, is my savior. That's who you're sending me. And I'm like thinking to myself, I already tried webinars, right? I already know. Be so careful of what you are so certain of, right? So I did, just like Russell said, what any good entrepreneur, leader, impact maker needs to do. And I clicked and followed it and took out my wallet and took out my card and followed it all the way through. And I learned about the webinar funnel. See, it's kind of like the picture that Russell had up. We knew about all the people in the top, and we knew what we had in the product on the bottom in our course, but we did not have the funnel that connects those people into what we're doing. And so we did everything that Russell said, right? Find the mentor, do what they say. And we implemented the entire webinar funnel. And when we did our first funnel into our webinar, we delivered that webinar. And while we were live on the webinar, 20% of the people on the webinar signed up for our program. Big moment, yay! Yes, and we kept doing that webinar with the funnel every single week for a year, and eventually it became 27%, and we started helping more and more people, and people were flooding into our programs, and our events were getting bigger and bigger, and then this happened, and then this happened, and actually there's been 10 times that at this point, and it's such a blessing. And I will say, thank God we did. Thank God we did, right? Because the methodology that Paul and I created and invented, we have helped to save thousands and thousands of families and healed thousands of families all over the world. Our Relationship U program has, Here we go. Oh, sorry. And yeah, and then more things happen. So when you're talking about like, how do you get in front of people? How do you get in front of people so that they know that what you're there and what you have, like, this is how you get in front of people. It starts filling events. It starts filling then our event room started, Relationship Breakthrough Retreat event room started getting bigger. And our Relationship U program, this is the event we just did last week, started getting bigger. And we started helping more and more families. And that it truly is the magic of, it's not just the webinar and it's not just your message and your product. It is the funnel that connects the people to your delivery, right? And so we have done this work for about 11 years now. And thank God we didn't stop. Just think about it for a minute. What if we had stopped that night on the bathroom floor, right? What if I looked at that ad from Russell and said, oh, I already tried webinars and it didn't work? I always say to our students, be so careful of what you're so certain of. Because very often the consistent challenges that you have right now, in fact, all of you, if you think of like the top 3 kerfuffles that you have in your life or the top 3 challenges that have been challenges for you for a period of time, I promise you the solution to that current challenge is locked behind something that you are so certain of that you haven't questioned it. And that is where you will find it. And so luckily I wasn't skeptical. I wasn't pessimistic. I wasn't so sure. Just like Russell said, like, what if they know something that I don't know? Well, clearly they did. And using that has helped us have such a huge impact. In fact, figuring out when we were first sitting here, in fact, I was sitting in that seat right where you're sitting today. And I remember we went around the room and we were working on our funnel and Russell wanted to know, like, what do you do and all that. And we said, we help people transform their relationship, save their marriage, heal their family, all in a way that it only takes one person to do the work. We don't do any couples work. It only requires one person. And I remember he laughed out loud because he thought I was joking. He laughed out loud. He was like, well, if you could figure out how to do that. Like, not if.
He stopped laughing after that.
Yeah, we did it. We proved it. It's done. He's like, well, this I got to see. That is the whole point of like, how could you have something that's such a service, such an impact, and yet not have the connection to all the people who are out there, who actually are praying for you to show up, who want, like the chiropractor that Stephanie helped. You don't think that chiropractor was praying day after day? If somebody would please just show up and make it rain, I know I can help people, right? It's the connection from the people to the answer. And that is the key, right? So we've proven that relationship is just a skill set and it can be learned. And we passionately believe that every human on the planet deserves to have that skill set. And now we have the pathway, right? Bringing them through webinar funnels to get that answer. That webinar funnel is still live today. It's running right now while we are here helping people. We've helped countless students. We just delivered our 57th live event last week. We've helped, I don't know, tens, hundreds of thousands of people. I don't really know anymore. And none of that really can be possible if you don't have this opportunity to connect yourself to what's really working. And I will say that, yeah, in our Relationship U program, while the current divorce rate is somewhere around 50% for first marriages, maybe higher, second marriages, some studies are showing in our Relationship U students over a 6-year study period of their results have had a 1% divorce rate over a 6-year period study of their results. And that truly is unheard of. And that's because what we're doing is working. And a lot of you have something of impact too. Have a service that you do that more people need to know about. Have something that you're passionate or can be like Stephanie and connect the people who have a book that they poured their souls into for a year that nobody's reading, but you can be the person that connects them to that. And I will just say, yeah, that's our event last week. Some of our advanced Relationship U students that came to learn with us were in that room. And here's the thing. We don't just use funnels anymore for our webinar to help people first learn about us. But truthfully, in the last 6, 7, 8 years, our Relationship U students, which is our year-long program, it's $15,000 a year program. It's our system, our tools, but also our Done With You services where we work with you. 93% was this year, between 91 and 99% of our Relationship U students advance, and every single year choose to work with us again and again for the last 6, 7, 8 years. You know, they don't do that if it doesn't work, but it's also because there's an ascension funnel set up to help them see their pathway to doing this again and again. You know, Russell talks about continuity, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it this week. And it's kind of funny, but our year-long program is our continuity program because people don't ever stop working with us. And that is a testament to when you are willing to take your craft, what you do in the world, but partner with it with becoming the student of how to let people know you're here doing what you do in the world. That's what can create the magic.
And I'd also say too, if you think about it, you could have the greatest product on the planet. And if you don't know how to get it out there, it goes to show like it's a lose-lose. No one wins here. It's like we all have to learn how to take what it is that's unique for us and take that gift and bring it to the world. And that is a learned process and how to do that.
So here's what I'll say. I know I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. You have to be so careful of what you're so certain of. In fact, I ask you just for today, just take notice of the times in which you internally have a dialogue with yourself like, I already know that, or I already tried that. Be so careful, right? Don't fall into the I already know that trap, because it's unless you are actually living it, doing it, and thriving with it, you don't know it. Maybe you heard it, but you don't actually know it until you're doing it. And there are a lot of people who are going to come share their tools, their methods, their stories. Hopefully you'll understand and be inspired that if people like us who don't know nothing, don't know nothing about marketing or funnels or advertising or anything like that, but we have a mission to serve, can learn this from people who have done such painstaking work to break it down into this level of detail that anybody can do it, then so can you with whatever you do need to connect. So I have 4 keys for you before we wrap it up. Number 1, if you do have a message or service or something to bring into the world, I'm going to throw it down now. It's actually your moral obligation to also be willing to become the student when it comes to funnels and building your business and reaching the people. It's not enough to be like, dude, we have such great relationship stuff. We're the people. You just can't. It's just not an option. It's not an option for anyone. Nobody on this planet was handed that option, like just be great at what you do and the people will find you. It's not like if you build it, they will come. That was a movie and it was great, but that's not actually how it works here. But when you understand that it's part of your moral obligation to actually become the student, if not you, who? Like we always say, right? Nobody's coming to save you. You're going to save you. We're going to empower you to do that. This is where that happens, but it is part of the journey. Number 2, Russell already said it, which is like so cool because I had no idea what he was talking about this morning. But find the mentor and become the student. You need to find the mentor who's already done this successfully for themselves and has a proven, repeatable process where they have brought many people across this bridge from where you are now to where you want to go. We've been blessed to be in this community for a long time, and I will just say, these are my people. This is my mentor. This is my process. And if that speaks to you, I hope that you'll join us as well. The third thing is you must have a whatever it takes approach. Life is not easy. In case you haven't noticed, there are times when life is going to throw you challenges. And when you have a I'll do whatever it takes approach, you can overcome them. Paul and I have had a whatever it takes approach through many different trials and challenges, and we're still doing it. But the same is true for you, because I could have cried on the bathroom floor while Paul held me and consoled me and been like, well, you know what? Maybe we'll just flip real estate. Like, it's a heck of a lot easier. But we didn't, because we had this mission, and it keeps driving us to do whatever it takes. And kind of like what I said to you about the solution to the challenges that you're still facing is locked behind the things that you're so certain of that you're not questioning. Every single time life has offered you an opportunity to learn something, by facing it, owning it, and solving it, you ascend to the next version of yourself. It was all for you. All those problems were for you, because you're becoming the version of yourself who's already solved that. What's next? And that is how you grow. So anytime you run into discomfort or a challenge or something that feels uncomfortable, first of all, good, because that's the only path to the results you haven't had yet. But second of all, know that by being the version of myself who can face, own, and solve this, I'm becoming the person who then can come right up here and tell the next group coming up the mountain, like, we can face, own, and solve that together, so you can become, right? So that you can ascend, because that journey is for you. And the last thing is, be so careful of what you're so certain of. Whatever you thought you need, whatever you thought you were going to get, whatever you thought this was going to be, just be willing, even just for these 5 days, to question any of it, and just ask yourself, what if there's something more that I'm meant to see? What if there's something more that I'm meant to find out? What else is possible? And show up with a lot of curiosity, and I think you'll find that your life changes.
Awesome.
All right?
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for letting
Thank
us
you,
share
everybody.
with you today. It's been our pleasure. Yeah!
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, let's give a round of applause, you guys. Stacey and Paul. Awesome. I wanted them to share, because I wanted you guys to see it from two standpoints. Some of you guys, you felt that calling before. You have a mission, you have a product or service, something you believe in, and you're trying to figure out, how do I get this out into the world? And there's such a great case study of and like practical application of doing that and having the success. The other side, some of you guys may feel like, I don't feel like I'm called, but maybe you believe in other people's callings. Like, I've got 400 plus people who work here at ClickFunnels who maybe they don't have their own thing, but they're like, I believe Russell in this thing with funnels, and they could come in and help support us. And so it's understanding that like either you've got a mission inside you that you want to take, and funnels are the way to amplify it in the world, or it's like, I believe in this mission, I believe in this, I want to go take this principle, these processes, and help grow it. In fact, a couple of years ago, I first found out about one of my favorite organizations called Operation Underground Railroad that helped save kids from sex slavery. And I was like, this is an amazing organization. How do I help them? What can I do? And I know what to do. I don't know how to run a nonprofit or anything, but I was like, I do know one thing. I know how to use the funnels. And so I built a funnel, and we've used the funnels to generate, $3 or $4 or $5 million in money to help support this organization. So like, when you find things you believe in, these funnels can help you with that as well. Like, there's so many powerful things when you start understanding them. So I thank you, Stacey and Paul, for sharing. I'm so proud of them. And it's just fun watching has the number of people that they're able to impact, because they can keep going out there and just bring more people into the world, more people. And I watch their events go from small to big to like larger, and it all comes off the back of like understanding these principles. So now a couple of things real quick, and then I'm going to introduce our next guest speaker. So again, those of you guys who are like asking us on the comments, like asking the homework link again, this is where the homework is. There's a one pager. Again, the link, throw the slides up real quick. So it's at yourfirstfunnelchallenge.com/day1. And there's a link to a one pager. If you don't know what a one pager is, actually, Alex, you want to throw the one pager up? I'll throw it on the screen back here. So this is what a one pager is. It's this really cool, like, interactive page. You come over here and click play on this video, and you watch a video of me explaining how ClickFunnels 2.0 works. Then you scroll up a little bit right here. And so step number 1, buying your first domain. And you click this button. There's a 6-minute video of me doing it. So you watch the video like, oh, it's really easy. And then you go and you do it. And then like you check off step 1, 2, and you check it off. By the time all the check marks done, boom, it's done. Then you go number 2, you scroll up, you watch video 2, editing your first page. You click there. There's a video of me doing it. Then you log into ClickFunnels, you do it and just follow the process. And then it was done. You scroll down again. And then you go right here to step number 3, and you go to the Facebook group, and then you go drop a link saying, this is my page, and it's live. And that's it. Like, again, super easy. It should take you like 30 minutes tonight to go through this homework process. But again, that way, this Mr. Miyagi wax on, wax off, you have a chance to go and do it. And then that way, tomorrow we can get our hands dirty and start building out your first funnel. Does that sound good? Okay, so throw the backdrop back up. Thank you. And then number 2, again, if you haven't upgraded VIP yet and you want the ClickFunnels account for 30 days, like now is the time. You can go to yourfirstfunnelchallenge.com/VIP. That gives you a ClickFunnels account for 30 days. Plus, we end up shipping you out this huge box of like goodies, which is amazing. This is the box right here. You guys probably got it. There's a t-shirt in here for you. There's the Funnel Hacker Cookbook, the 30 Days book, a whole bunch of other really cool things. And we send that out as a gift. Again, it's like a bribe to get you guys to take the challenge, take the 30-day account, give VIP, hang out here within Zoom rooms, and that way you guys can have the software for 30 days as well as you're building out your funnels. Okay, I want to introduce you to our last guest for today, and this is somebody who, man, I was actually in this room the very first time I met her. She came to one of my my high-end mastermind groups, and she came over, and I think she's sitting like right here somewhere. I didn't know her story yet, and then she got on stage, and she told me her story about how she had created these products, and she felt this calling, this mission, and what she created were physical products. And I wanted to bring her here because her story is amazing. But also, I know some of you guys are like, well, I don't. Stacey and Paul is great, but I don't have a course or a product or something, and maybe you have a physical product. And I want you to understand that these funnels, they work in both directions. If you have information you want to sell, it works to amplify that. If you have physical products as well. But she started using funnels and grew this business from something that she was doing at farmers markets. And so that she'll show you into a big online business. And she's someone who's just a great student. She's really fun to watch what she's been doing. I'm so proud of just watching her behind the scenes, all the things she's done, and she's grown this company up. But I want her to come share with you what she's had a chance to build in her own business, her life, and how she used funnels to help grow and amplify that. So with that said, let's put our hands together for Jamie Cross.
Thank you. Thank you. Anytime I've ever put any time, money into Russell's books, his programs, I have always more than 100x'd everything that ever's gone in. So thank you so much, Russell. Our story and my story starts in 2010. It was actually October of 2010, so 12 years ago. My husband came home with this gift card for an ice cream shop, $25, and he said, hey, and my husband, he was a teacher, he was a wrestling coach, very introverted, and he said, I'm going to go take this gift card down to the local ice cream shop and try to sell it for half of what it's worth so we can have some gas money this week. And that was the same week that I was getting calls from the utility company and my debit card was declining. So it was a perfect storm. And I just went to bed one night, bawling my eyes out and prayed and asked God, I said, just show me $1 billion idea so that I can change the world and leave a legacy for my family, because I just know that there's more. And not too long after that, I had a dream. And I grew up on a farm working with herbs. And in this dream, I saw myself pouring oils, and it was just like a roadmap. So I woke up and told my husband, I'm going to start a skincare company. And so I did. In my kitchen in Colorado, I started a little soap company and didn't know how to make any products. So I spent a year just studying chemistry. And once I had my first product, I literally just hit the streets of Denver and Colorado Springs. I had 2 babies at the time. My mom would come on her days off and she would drive me up and down these streets, and I would peddle soap for 9 hours a day at $2 wholesale. And if you look at our prices now, they're not $2 anymore. And that was the beginning of the journey of just getting it done. And I was so hungry. I didn't have the luxury of not believing in myself or not believing that there was an answer out there. I just was out there doing all the work. And fast forward, so here's me doing all the formulation-y things. All of our money was going into raw materials. I remember essential oils and shea butter, and we would spend so much time just planning all the markets. And I got into farmers markets, and that was really a 4-year process of understanding my customer. But I had to wake up at 4 a.m. and get all my boxes prepared and stand outside. And there were days that it would rain, and I would drive up to Denver, which was an hour drive, set up my table, and nobody would be there that day, and we'd make zero. And I didn't have the luxury of not making money, right? But that's the price that we paid. So here we are, it's 2017, and I've done 4 years of farmers markets at that time. I've been in business for 7 years, and we're doing, $80,000 to $100,000 a year, but all of that money is going into fees and into resources and into growing and trying to do the thing. But I felt so stuck because I knew that I had this $1 billion idea. I mean, skincare It's a very big market, right? And there's people funneling somewhere. And I had a website. I had built a website in 2010 and it was 2017. And I think maybe we had made like $1,000 in those years cumulatively on our website. You know, I was feeling so lost. And I remember it was 2017 and Nathan and I decided, we sat down and we were like, you know what? We need to make a decision about the direction of our company. What are we going to do and where are we going to go? And what's the thing here that we're actually doing? And I remember I had seen The Prophet, and I found Russell, and it was like an answer to a prayer, just like Stacy was talking about. Because I'm like, I need a mentor. I need a marketing mentor because I need to understand marketing because I have a great product and I have a website and I have all of the things and I have a dream and everything I need to be successful, except I don't have a really good marketing plan unless I want to stay at farmers markets for the rest of my life, which was not the plan, of course. So I see Russell, and this whole episode was like a total paradigm shift for me. And I could see instantly what he was doing and the possibilities in my business. And so, of course, I'm Googling Russell Brunson and same thing. I'm like, who's this 14-year-old guy building these funnel things? And I started seeing his ads everywhere. Everywhere I looked, it was Russell Brunson and Russell Brunson and Russell Brunson. And everything he was saying was speaking my language. He was saying things like, you're one funnel away from being home with your kids. You're one funnel away from having an unlimited grocery budget, which for me was like, if I could just have a fruit budget, that would be amazing. I would love to buy like bananas and oranges and the special fruit that's expensive and not have to put it back when I get to checkout. He was saying, you're one funnel away from the marriage of your dreams. Everything he was saying, I'm like, could this really be true? Is it really possible that what he's saying could really work for me? And so I kept just digging in. And finally, I found this video on YouTube with Russell and Trey Llewellyn. And Trey's talking about how he's going to Walmart and buying these gun cleaning kits and selling them in his funnel for like $1 bazillion. And I was like, if he can do it with gun cleaning kits, why can't I do it with soap? And so I started building my first funnels. And again, I didn't have the luxury of not believing. I was so starving. I was so hungry to build something and to grow and to get our family out of financial pain. That's exactly where we were. And the question was always, what if I don't? The next year, the next 5 years is going to go by whether I do something or not. Why don't I just go all in here with this Russell guy? So I literally stopped reading all the mentor books and stopped following all these gurus. And I shut it all down and I dove straight headfirst into studying Russell's work. He was the mentor. He was teaching principles that I knew would work. And I was seeing from him, you know, Kaylin Poland's story and Trey Llewellyn and Drew Canole with Organifi. And so if it worked for Trey and Kaylin and Drew, well, then why wouldn't it work for me? So I built my first funnel and nothing happened, of course, but that's okay because that's just how it starts, right? And so I did exactly what Russell was talking about. I was funnel hacking and I was looking at whose stuff is working. And I was looking at the Organifi stuff and I was changing headlines and I was launching multiple concepts. And finally I came to a point where I remember I launched this $200 product kit. And I thought, surely everybody wants all this stuff. And that one didn't convert either. And so I remember I finally was going through Expert Secrets. And I knew I had to simplify, right? The VIP, the MVP, the minimum viable product. What's my minimum viable product? What's the one thing I could get somebody to focus on so that I could have a converting funnel? And then I discovered the perfect webinar and everything changed. And in the midst of it all, I was doing bath time with babies. So all of you moms out there that are like, I can't do this until the kids go back to school. I can't do this until I have kids out of diapers. I'm telling you, there's no excuses. Whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that you're after, go all in. And so that's what I was doing. And I was working, on my funnel at 2:00 in the morning, nursing babies, doing, nap times, whatever the case may be. I just dove in. And I read this in Russell's Expert Secrets book. He said, if I can make them believe that X is key to Y and is attainable only through my proprietary framework that delivers Z, then all other objections and concerns become irrelevant and they have to give me money. So my whole goal was, what is the X factor in my business? What's the new opportunity in skincare? And what is my big domino? And I'm going through this perfect webinar, 90 minutes long. And there was something really encouraging that Russell said in his book. He said, just do a video live every week for a year and you'll make $1 million. And I was like, okay, I'm going to totally suck at this, but I'm going to do a video every week live until I make $1 million. And so I discovered the perfect webinar and I launched this whole new idea in my funnel. And I started seeing more traction in our data. And Nathan and I got to a point, it was 2017, and we sat down and we said, you know what? We know this funnel thing is going to work. We know we have a great product. It's time to burn all the ships at the harbor. And I don't recommend anybody do this, but Nathan decided to quit his job and we gave up all of our contracts at the farmers markets. And we had 90 days to make our funnels work, or we were literally going to be homeless. Don't ask me right now why it even made sense. But at the time, it was like we were so convicted that we had to just dive in and make it happen and go all in. And I remember doing all these videos and video after video and tweaking and I didn't, I'm all in the middle of it. Again, we had our 4th baby boy, so we have 5 boys now. And I'm doing all the things. And this was a midnight shoot that I did. Like everybody was in bed and it was quiet and I had my lights and I put my makeup back on and I got in front of the camera and I was going for it. And then I'm like, let's try one at Garden of the Gods and let's try one here and let's keep testing. And September 9th of 2017, I'm sorry. I still get emotional when I tell the story because everything changed. I remember I had done the perfect webinar video so many times and I had condensed it from 90 minutes down to a 5-minute webinar. And I know Russell actually has the script in his Expert Secrets book. You can read the script. Anybody can do this 5-minute webinar. And I had done it so many times. And I remember having my papers out, like reading it in front of the camera, totally awkward. And then finally one day hit. And it was September 10th of 2017. And it was windy out that day. And I remember just letting the papers blow in the wind and the kids are running around the yard. And I'm like, go back inside. I need 5 minutes to finish my video. Just go inside. And I sat there and I looked into the camera and I talked to the camera as if I was talking to a friend over coffee. And I just shared this webinar. And it was completely authentic coming out of my soul. I'd done it so many times. And I sent off that video to a friend of mine who was doing some ads for me. She's like, I'll help you out for a month. Let's just see how it goes. And so I sent it over and she's like, okay, well, we'll see how this one works. And I remember just not looking at any of the numbers until the end of the day. And I remember we got to the end of the day that day and we had done $1,000, which that was like more than 2 weeks of Nathan's teaching salary, right? I think we were bringing home like $1,800 a month when he was teaching and then a little extra for the coaching. So that was a really big, like, I could go buy some cheese, right? I could go buy some groceries. And within 6 weeks, we had done $130,000 with soap. Yeah. And I remember seeing something about the inner circle, and I was like, $25,000, that was like Nathan's whole year's salary a year before, but I've got this funnel thing going now. I'm doing this. So I got on a call with Russell's team and I joined the inner circle and everything just took off from there. And within less than 6 months, we had done our first $1 million. So guys, perfect webinar video every week live for a year. I did it in 6 months. coming from zero funnel background, being the farmer's market girl, right? And now from there, in 2.5 years, we crossed the 8-figure mark, over a $10 million brand. And so here's the thing. My husband and I, here's my family. We've got 5 boys. We dreamt for years that we would build a retreat and have a farm, and all of our skincare is seed to skin. And so we said, if we can continue to position our brand uniquely in the marketplace and own our own crops and raise our own herbs and be truly soil, skin to soil, right? Soil to skin, then we can stand out above the rest, because it's a very competitive industry. But what if we could actually control our verticals in our company and continue to be self-funded as we go from being a 10 to 100 million and 100 million to $1 billion company? So I'm working on stuff right now with funnels, actually, so that I can continue to fund our growth, because it's very expensive to grow. But last year we bought our 80-acre farm, and we are now chicken owners with eggs and puppies. But next year we'll have bees. We planted an 80-tree orchard, and we already have fruit coming in our first year because we bought 3-year-old trees. We're actually able to hire a farmer to come and plant 3-year-old trees. So we started ahead of the game a little bit. And we've got now 15 tons of beeswax, which, by the way, was my big domino in my perfect webinar. It was all about the farm fresh beeswax, right? And my husband and I work full time together. That was a big dream for me, is if I could just bring my husband home and get him out of all the things he had to do. What if we could do this whole life and family thing together and be with our kids? And there's our boys standing in front of a rainbow on our farm. There's the orchard. Here's our barn. And then I'll just wrap up with this. There was another big dream in my heart. We had 4 boys at the time, and I thought, what if we had one more baby and tried for a girl, and I could actually spend more time rocking her or him at night? Because I spent so many days and so many hours when the boys were little building and doing farmers markets and being gone all the time and hustling. What if we had one more baby and I could actually just do mom stress-free and go buy groceries and not stress? And so we decided as a family, we were like, boys, we're going to try for another baby. And they were like, yeah, we love babies. And so we had our 5th little boy in January of last year, and he's amazing. And I'll tell you what, you can't afford not to have a strategy, because the dreams in your heart, they're real, right? They're for an appointed time and for a purpose. And I think we often downplay the dream. It's what our society has programmed us to do. But those dreams in your heart are real. And everything that Russell teaches, I'm telling you, like, you close your eyes and you just jump and you go all in. And I promise you, there's a pot of gold waiting for you on the other side of that rainbow. Thank you so much, Russell. I'm supposed to give this back to you. You're awesome.
Oh man, how great was that? Hopefully, again, my whole goal for today was for you guys to understand, like, to be able to see this opportunity, understand what it is, how it's possible for you, for your family, for the people that you are around, the people that you've been called to serve. And hopefully you had a chance to see a glimpse of that today from Stacy and Paul, and also from Jamie. And I'm so grateful for them coming on their own dime here to be here and to share their stories with you guys. So I'm reading the comments. It's like, I didn't think I was going to cry. 6 times I cried. That was amazing. Yeah, but that's what we want to do for you guys. That's the reason why we're here. It's why we're going to put so much time and effort and energy. If you guys knew behind the scenes what goes into a challenge like this, how much money we spend on ads and Facebook and flying out to hang out with Damon John and all sorts of stuff to be able to get you guys here so we can share this message with you, because we believe in it. It's changed my life. It's changed their life. It's changed so many people's lives. We're excited for it to change your life as well. And that's what this whole 5-day challenge is all about. So hopefully you guys enjoyed day number 1, and now you see the opportunity. You see, oh my gosh, okay, I understand, like, funnels are the thing. And maybe I have a product right now and I need a funnel, and that's going to be the thing that gets people to find it. Or maybe you don't have a product yet. And it's like, hey, I still need to master and learn the skill set, because that's the skill set I can use to go and learn while I earn, right? I can start building funnels for other people and get paid to do it from this person and this person. Maybe you could be like Noah and negotiate equity in companies while you're doing it, right? We start doing that until you have a spot where it's like, now I have my own product, I have my own service. Steve Larson, who you have a chance to hear from later on this week, he's something similar. He came in this funnel world. He loved it. He was excited, but he had no money to go and to launch his own funnel. He had no money to buy ads. He had no money to do these things. And so the first thing he started doing was started building funnels for other people. He literally went, he was a college kid at the time. He was going door to door, knocking on different businesses and was like, hey, I'll build you a funnel. Like, what's a funnel? And they explained it to him, like, okay. And he built a funnel for them, another funnel. And that's how he got the money to pay for his ClickFunnels accounts, and how he got the money to pay to fly to one of our events. That's how he got the money for these things, was building funnels for other people. And he got better and better building funnels until he had the money coming in from that as a side hustle, until he was able to go, and now boom, he was able to launch his own businesses. Now he's won multiple 2 Comma Club awards and beyond. But the skill set, like, if you guys can focus on it and learn it and master and understand it, it'll change your life forever. You'll have the ability to walk into any business anywhere in the world and be able to make it rain for them. And again, the rainmakers in businesses are the ones that are the most valuable, including your own business, which again, if you learn the skill, like what these guys all did, they're able to take it and apply it to their own businesses, and you've seen the results from it as well. So that's kind of, so excited to have a chance to hear this. So a couple things, Ken. Again, tomorrow we're going to be starting back, same time, same place. All the VIPs will jump back in Zoom here like this. Everyone else will be watching in Facebook and YouTube, wherever else you are. We are going to be doing a live laser coaching session with all the VIPs here in about 20 minutes. Give us the speakers. I'm going to have me and the other speakers come on stage, but give us the time to eat a real quick bite of lunch real quick, and we'll come back here and open up the VIPs. Again, the big things you guys do tonight, okay? You got your homework. First, your homework, there's the link again, yourfirstfunnelchallenge.com/day1 is the homework assignment. A little later on today, Shane, what time are you guys doing the first open offices? As soon as they're done with VIP. Okay, as soon as VIP is done inside the Facebook group, I was going to put on slides. I totally ran out of time, but there's actually going to be live coaches in the Facebook group. So if you're doing the homework assignment after the VIP session and you're stuck, log in. They're going to be going through. They're going to be showing you exactly how to do it. Again, these are coaches who've been with me now for 5 or 6 years. They're amazing. So free coaching, live coaching happening. If you want to go through the whole process is here on the one pager. So there's the one pager link once again. And again, if you don't have a ClickFunnels account yet, I would highly recommend go upgrade to VIP. If you do that, you can also jump on the live Q&A call and ask your questions as well with me and the other speakers, and you get all the other cool stuff. So again, the upgrade it's VIP is yourfirstfunnelchallenge.com/VIP. And that is the core things for today. So with that said, you guys, thank you so much for participating, playing full out. Drop your biggest aha, the biggest takeaway in the comments down below. I literally will be reading these all night tonight. It's my favorite thing to do. So whether you are in Zoom, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're at, drop your biggest aha, the biggest takeaway you had. And we'll be back here tomorrow. Again, tomorrow, we'll be focusing on building out your very first funnel. Again, there's a lot of different funnel types. The question always is like, what funnel should I build first and why? So I'm going to show you guys the funnel. We're going to talk about what it is, why. Hope you understand the strategy, and then we're going to build it together. It's a very powerful, simple funnel to build, but it's the one that is the catalyst to the rest of your company. So do not miss it. Your first funnel is happening tomorrow. Thank you guys again so much for being here. VIPs will pick up in about 20 minutes from right now, and we'll see you guys everyone else, see you guys tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.